take a poll of how many people say that they listen in any way, shape, or form to hip hop,
Mhm.
and ask them if they know who Project Pat is. What percentage do you think know who Project Pat is? Out
And
of 100 people, I think you're lucky to get 30.
I think that's being extremely optimistic. I'm
That's what I'm
being
saying. You're
honest.
lucky to get 30.
And in today's hip hop fan, you got the Travis Scott fans who's never heard of Project Pat or any rapper other than Travis Scott.
Yeah,
So,
I was about to say, I think
but
Travis Scott fans only know Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott.
that I Project Pat has been severely underappreciated in the culture.
Yeah, and you want to know if I don't is it even normal to give Drake praise so early? But Drake kind of kept the Project Pat thing going.
That's
He,
fair.
he
That's
kept
fair.
he kept giving he kept sampling, he kept giving the praise, and now everyone. I'd like to think that.
So who's the first person to bring the Project Pat flow back in modern day rap?
So I just think about the sample on Knife Talk, right?
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And then I want to say I hear some of it in ASAP Rocky.
I that's who my intro is going to be, this ASAP
Yeah,
Rocky.
like
I think
early, like
ironically, Bone Thugs and Harmony on your t-shirt, ASAP Rocky, Project Pat. It's ASAP Rocky is a little underrated with how he's integrated different styles into his flow.
I don't know like how early we haven't even introed yet, but I have so many like not questionable, but I have so many hot takes or just statements that I've come to the conclusion of. So let's before we get started, let's welcome everybody to the Bench Player Podcast
We back.
episode. We back for a multitude of reasons. Episode 15 of them
Jeez,
things.
15 of them things.
Follow us on social media, YouTube, TikTok, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, the Bench Player Podcast. And we're back. I feel like we're doing a pod, then we're taking a week off and doing a pod. But you're a father now. What do they call it? Earthborn father? Because
Earthborn.
technically when the baby is in the belly, right?
When I
You're a
injected it
father.
and
You're a
and my wife,
father.
I fathered the child.
You're a father, but
No, my
unfortunately, some babies don't make it to that point, right? So they made
correct.
it different. They made it. There's like Earthborn
It's
parent and
Earthside. It's Earthside.
Earthside. Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
my wife broke this down for me. She's like,
Yeah, yeah. I
"You're an
just heard
Earth."
about it too. I just heard about it too.
I was like, "Yeah, no, he was born." He's like, "Well, he's always been born, but he's Earthside now." I was like, "What the hell are you
Yeah.
talking about?"
No, yeah, no. I get it, and it makes perfect sense to me. So like, I
No,
always
yes,
I always felt weird when like people are gonna have a baby. I always felt weird like when the baby's there. It's like, oh, you're gonna be a good. It's like, well, you've been a dad basically the whole term, you know?
like preparing is part of fatherhood. That's just the way
Yeah.
this works.
But how do
Uh,
you feel, man?
feel great.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you my prediction of how you feel, and you tell me how spot on I am.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I like this.
You are. I just imagine you having your son, right? And then when you get back home, nothing changed. Like I feel like you were the same person you were, just plus a little small human.
But what does that even mean,
Like so for me, like a lot of what changed for me is I think I became more like sensitive, I guess, than I was. But I
You
feel like
say I'm
that's
not soft?
never gonna happen to you.
You say I'm soft?
No, I say you're the opposite. I think you're not soft at all. And you're
Well,
just
all right.
like,
Let
I
me
gotta
break this
take care of
down.
little man. And I
Let
also
me
think
take
it's
it down.
different because you had a son.
100%. I do think that a softer version of me has come about. Definitely shed some thug tears when I saw the baby.
Okay, that
Uh,
was gonna be my next one. Did you cry?
Solid thug tears. You know what I mean? Just like a
Like a Denzel Washington in
yeah,
Glory? A
yeah.
little,
Just one, just straight face. Uh, that definitely came out. But yes, 100%. I think if it was a girl, I would be the softest person in the world. I might
yeah.
cry talking about this conversation right now. But like having a boy, you kind of like want to be like, he's like not even walking yet. You just push him over. Get up. What are
Hey,
we
man
doing?
up, son.
when he has
No,
to eat, he starts crying. I'm like, all right, fam. You can go without 2 days of eating. Be a man.
No, there's gonna be a time where you're gonna have to go without eating for a couple of days, like when you were like a young adult. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you ain't never been broke before. I promise you have.
I promise you. Um, no, so like for me, um, not to get in too much detail, but when I had my daughter, or when my wife had my daughter, we had our daughter. When the baby first came out, I didn't cry. I was
Mhm.
like, because in my head, I was definitely, I've always been kind of pessimistic. And now that the baby was out, I was like, there's still a bunch of check marks that we have to go through before everything's good. So
Yeah.
like when the baby first came out, I was like, okay, like I'm happy as fuck, but I'm chilling. And then my baby had some fluid in her lungs and she had to go to the NICU. And
Mm.
so going to the NICU, that was tough, but I had to be strong for my wife because she was losing her shit. She was crying, and I was like, "No, nah, it's gonna be fine. We're good." I was in the NICU when I was a baby, so like I get
Yeah.
it, and like I was there. I've been there.
It's genetics.
But the moment where it hit me was when the NICU nurse, because we took 4 hour shifts. One of us would sleep for 4 hours, the other person would be
Yeah.
down in the NICU with the baby. Then we switch. I was um I was holding the baby and the NICU nurse came in and was like, "Oh, y'all are going home tomorrow. Everything's good." That's the moment where I was like, "Shit." That's when I cried.
We Gucci? Oh, let's
Yeah,
go.
when I got the okay, like everything's gonna be good, we're going home. That's when I've like allowed myself to be like, "Oh shit." And then it's been nothing but fun ever since then. But like how was the experience? How's being home for the first couple days? How you feeling?
I will say being home has been like I know we say, hey, baby comes out, no sleep ever, no sleep. Texas, it's over with. Forget it. Kiss it goodbye. I read a report that said, on average, parents in the first 2 years lose 6 months of sleep, and I was like, hey, yo, uh, hospital. I felt that for sure. Got home.
Yeah.
Homie knows he's home. But he's just like, all right, I'm asleep. I'll let y'all know when I'm hungry. Y'all get some rest, big dog.
Awesome.
So we've been chilling. I'm well rested. I'm ready to pod. We back at it.
We back at it.
I told him
Um,
that. I was like, bro, you gotta chill out. I got a pod tomorrow. You gotta let me
um,
get some rest. And he understood. He saw the news come out. He was like, oh, let me sleep. I know it's a big day for you tomorrow.
that's crazy. And to think that our kids are literally 4 months and some change apart.
It's insane.
4 months and three, yeah, because uh, baby is 5 months next week. Wow.
That's crazy. I
Um,
feel like that flew by.
yeah, 5 months next week. Oh my gosh. And of course, it's gonna be. Don't make it political. If you're not into it, whatever. But like when you get the baby her shots and her vaccinations, or your son's shots and the vaccinations, that sucks
Yeah.
because they cry for real, like a cry you've never heard before, and they're hurting your baby, and that sucked. I had
Oh,
to go through that yesterday.
let me hit you with something you're not ready for. On Thursday, he gets circumcised.
Oh shit!
I felt that right
Wait,
here.
wait. They don't do that like right when he comes out.
No, so some hospitals they do. However, our hospital that we go to is connected to the pediatric that we're going to.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, they'll just do it there. I was like, I bet. And then like after I left the hospital, I was like, wait, like
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Like,
so Thursday, I mean, they said as long as you do it within the first 2 weeks that they're alive. It's the
ugh,
same thing. No, fam, I feel bad. They're like,
that
it's like they say, yeah,
sucks.
we're gonna chop that thing off on Thursday, and then you take him home. I said, hey, dog,
Yo,
he should go to the ER immediately.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it like this when we were first setting up
Like
all
you're
the appointments.
like you're putting a diaper on him, getting ready to go home, and you're like,
Hey, yo,
hold
like
on. What if I don't want this?
the problem is the hospital asked me if we wanted to get him circumcised. I was like, for sure. So I just thought I assumed it was done.
They would just do it. Yeah.
And I changed the diaper. I was like,
And you're not like examining his thing, you know?
no, for sure. You're just
Yeah.
like, all right, it's done.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I assumed you did it.
and then we came to talk to the doctor. Yeah, so you just get him circumcised at the. I said, wait. You
He's
haven't done it
and you're
yet?
like on like no sleep. So you're not like paying attention to everything.
100%. So Thursday that goes down. So I feel bad for my dude. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea. I thought they did it like right when he comes out. I don't know, but
Some places do. So this place, the hospital rather, they said they typically do it not immediately. The day you go home, they do it, which is crazy. They're like, we're gonna chop it off and then we're gonna send you home with this baby. I don't understand how this
Poor
works.
dude, poor
They
guy.
say they're like, it's not that painful for the babies. You say, how do you know that? You can't communicate this with him.
Are you a baby? No,
let me chop
nuts.
your shit off and let's see how you feel.
That's nuts, man. Yeah, you're right. I did not have to go through anything like that. So,
I'll let you know how it goes because you think about crying, I'm gonna cry. Because like, bro, like, what are y'all doing? I
but
don't
just be
understand.
like, dude, when you get to be 18, 19, 20, you're gonna thank me. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. And the fact that it was a lady doctor that said it to me, he's not gonna feel any pain. How do you know?
I don't talk about how giving birth is slight work. I don't talk
Right?
about
Like
that.
you have been kicked in the nuts. That hurts. This is a whole different ballgame.
I'm so sick of women being the only people that say that they experience the most pain. I'm
Stay
sick
out
of
of
it.
men's business. That's all
No,
I'm saying.
no. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I don't want the women to
Not
come at me.
in the
Um,
comments. Pray for my boy.
hashtag pray for my boy.
It's real out
Um,
here.
I mean, shit. I mean, now let's talk. Let's all this kid stuff, all this soft shit. Let's get to the hard hitting shit, and let's talk
Pause.
about how much better ASAP Rocky is than Big Sean.
Oh my god. So we talked about Big Sean album before it came out, right?
Yep.
He hit us with the pump fake on the first week,
Yeah.
came back in the second week. Our over under was 65, way off. Um, came in at 22, solid 22. You know
Did
what I
we get
mean?
the final numbers on that, or was that just
It,
projections?
it's 22, 23. It's somewhere around there.
Okay, I'm gonna look right now.
Low 20s. We've had a chance to sit with the album before reviewing it. I thought that was
Oh
very important.
shit, this isn't good.
Simply because after I sat through it a few times and slept when it was playing, I had to wake up multiple times because of the baby, not because of the album, obviously.
Like I had no choice.
Yeah, no. And then I then played it when I had a full amount of sleep and suddenly fell asleep again. So it's Big Sean. Um, I told you I didn't have a lot of confidence going into this album, right? We heard the singles, didn't feel great. Post listening to the album, not terrible. It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper.
It's so I'm gonna be honest, I got through about 12 songs and I kind of got the gist of it. Um the rapping is fine. Even the production is okay. It's what how many chances are you taking? Right? Like that's what makes some of our favorite artists, right? Is because they're willing to, they obviously operate inside their own style, and that's what makes them them. But there's also some chances that are taken in there. Like, I'm going to try this flow. I'm going to try this type of production. I'm going to try this cadence, this tone, whatever. And man, I just, with Big Sean, it was the word that comes to mind, it was the most vanilla album.
Yeah.
It was fine, but if he's inserting himself into the best rappers today or in
I don't want
his
to hear it.
era
I don't,
conversation, he's
I don't want
not
to hear
there. He's
it.
simply
No.
not there.
No, I think that to your point, very vanilla. Uh, I have
It
a hard
was
time.
it was
I have a
way too
hard
safe. It was safe. It was just so
yes.
safe.
I'm about to say I have a hard time calling this a bad album because it's not.
No, I wouldn't say so.
However, I feel like every song I heard on this Big Sean album, I've heard a better version of that song.
Mm-hmm.
So why? You know what I mean? After I listened
Yep.
to this album, I went back and listened to Detroit. You listened to even Detroit too had a little bit more of a bounce to it, I guess, so
Mm-hmm.
to speak.
Yep.
Um, but it's I don't know, like I said, we didn't do anything different. We didn't try anything different. We kind of went the safe route. And once you take such a long time out in between albums, I assume, and hey, maybe I'm off, maybe this is my arrogance as a fan, but I like to assume that you're taking that time to experiment and try different things. But I sat back and listened to, obviously sitting in the hospital, Dark Sky Paradise, favorite Big Sean album.
Amazing. Amazing.
How do we get from that to this? And I know you take out Kanye West, you take out good music, backing and everything.
That's a good point.
But this is still Big Sean. This is still a budget involved. You can tell there was a budget involved. Doesn't look like the biggest budget in the world, but I don't know. I think that another album came out that same Friday that we will get to in a second. That from an artist that had nowhere near the backing that he did, that sounded so much more polished, so much more interesting, so much more uh, experimental. And I think that it because I listened to these albums back to back, it made me challenge Big Sean on just tonage more than anything.
Yeah, it's the one song where I felt the energy was in the right place was the Yes record.
I hate that song.
Whether no, but it's if you don't like the song, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan either. But the direction and the energy, I
I get
understood
that.
it, but it just sounded so much like an ASAP Rocky song.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
much
I don't
like
know
an
about that.
ASAP Rocky song. Well, no, people in the moment I heard it, I said this sounds like ASAP Rocky. So I went to the comments, and then people are like, "This is ASAP Rocky ish," right? And so I then started to compare the two and who's putting out music today. ASAP Rocky's recent releases I thought have been very good,
Agreed.
and I would say they're from the same class. I would say, right?
Big Sean's a little before.
Right, a little older,
Yeah.
but
Not by much though.
I think they both had their peaks thus far have been around the same time.
Big Sean's peak was bigger. Pause.
Yeah, but that was great.
I covered it. I
I'm
covered
so sorry. Here's the
it.
thing. Big Sean's peak was bigger, I don't think is a pause. But just anytime you're talking about two things or something with dudes and then you put big or bigger, it's like you have to pause.
Yeah, no.
It could
That's
you could
why
be saying anything.
there was no big reaction. It just I flowed the pause in there naturally. Like
His
I didn't have
car,
to think about that.
his car is bigger. Pause.
Pause. Yeah, no
No,
pause.
no,
That was
we
crazy.
not doing that. Like comparing sizes with men, no, like you
Yeah,
can't do
no,
it.
you can't do it for anything.
But
But it's a like I said, super safe album. Nothing to get super excited about, to be honest with you. I think that's a more disappointing thing. I think that we have Big Sean, that's this artist that had so much potential. This is a guy that was rapping toe to toe with Jay-Z and Kanye and holding his own. And I
some
think
of my best features, some of my favorite feature verses have been Big Sean
absolutely.
verses.
And 10 years later, there's been zero growth. And I think, if anything, I'll be honest with you, there's been a scale back from that. And I think that's due to losing the Kanye West, losing the good music backing. I understand that. But as an artist, 10 years later, when we have zero growth, um, there's a problem.
It's so funny, and I thinking about the losing the good music and the powers that be there is an interesting perspective on it. But it's super interesting to have that conversation like you did with Charlemagne and say, I think I'm in that big three conversation, and then put this out. It's very did so
Sometimes
you thought this was, and like again, I'm just a dude that, sits in front of a computer and talks hip hop, right?
bench player podcast is what we do.
Right. So it's like you listen to your project and you thought this put you in any type of
Yeah,
conversation. I have a hard time believing that. Was that talk just a promo, or did you
I guess so.
actually believe that?
Like, there's no
Because
way you heard this album after hearing a Schoolboy Q album earlier this year and thought this competed. With hearing a Future album earlier this year and thought this competed. A Vince Staples album and thought this competed. Like, I don't understand that logic. It's especially in a atmosphere of high energy rap that we've had this year, to have such a stale project. It's kind of like, all right, well, that's underwhelming, and we moved on. I feel like everybody's moved on from the Big Sean album very quickly.
yeah, no,
I think it's
absolutely.
already happened. It's gone.
I think people have moved on from Big Sean.
I
On the Yes video, the first comment was like, Gene Aiko, come get your boy. Like, come get your man. Like,
I think this is definitely the beginning of moving on from Big Sean. I don't think we were there before. I think because he gave us so many highs, We gave it a chance. I mean, we had Sky Paradise. He came out with I Decided, which I thought was a solid album.
Mhm.
Then he had the album with Metro, Double or Nothing, which is super underwhelming. That's 2017. Detroit 2, all right, but underwhelming altogether. That's 2020. Here we are 4 years later with Better Me Than You, even more underwhelming. It's like, okay, after straight projects of just underwhelming, what do I expect from you? I don't,
Even
it's
his debut was really good.
yeah, absolutely. He's put out great music,
Yeah.
but we're now looking at 7 years rather with without making an album with any progression, and that's in today's era that doesn't work.
Yeah. Um, and I make the ASAP Rocky comparison just because of that record, and then I start thinking about the timelines are similar, and who on the hip hop hierarchy, if you were to make your list of like career resumes, who's higher on the list, Big Sean or ASAP Rocky? Because if Big Sean had a bigger peak, pause.
Super
Um,
pause.
I mean, we talk about the Eminem conversation. We talk about, your peak could have been crazy, but the start and the finish matters,
Yeah.
you know? And I would say ASAP Rocky's career has been far more consistent than Big
I
Sean.
don't know if I'd say that. I disagree.
Consistent?
No,
That's crazy.
no.
What is ASAP Rocky put out that wasn't at least nice?
At least nice.
Yeah, like
Um,
ASAP Rocky, I
well,
don't think's put out any bad projects. Big Sean has put out bad projects.
okay. Let's look at how we use the word consistent.
Yeah.
Um, ASAP Rocky's last album was 6 years ago.
Hmm.
Testing.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Which
about testing? It was
it's
cool.
it's not my it's not my
It's
favorite
cool.
ASAP project, but it's a cool project. Like
It's cool.
I think testing smacks this latest Big Sean album out the water. Maybe the one before.
But at long last, ASAP, good album. That was
Yes.
almost 10 years ago.
Hmm.
I
He's
don't call
coming.
it. I don't call it
Pause.
consistent.
God damn it.
That was crazy.
Fuck.
But I don't call that consistent. If you give in 10 year span, you gave me an okay album and that's it. That's not consistency to me.
I mean, I think we're getting to a semantics point, which is like how we okay and nice. It's kind of like how we define our words,
No, no,
right?
no, no. I get it. But I think that I don't even know. Testing was cool. That's all I'm going to give it. I'm not getting anything past that.
Okay.
It's got some songs on there that I like a lot, but there's a lot of songs in there that's just that I will never hear another day again in my life. I probably
Yep.
got 3 songs on it that I really rock with, and that's about it. Uh, so that's I don't know if that it's been more consistency. I just think that you have to and it's a conversation we always have, right? I always consider output a little bit more than you do.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, because
that's
I'm not going to hold it against someone if they don't want to put out, because you get to a situation where, I mean, we're talking about Big Sean. Let's stay on Big Sean, right? Big Sean's put out more quality, but it's only hurt him, you know, or more quantity, and it's only
okay,
hurt him is
okay,
what I meant to
okay.
say. My
I
bad, my
got
bad.
you. I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
So someone like a Kendrick, or someone like a ASAP, or someone who's more selective in what they put out, I don't like to hold it against them, because you got these other people who are putting out more volume, but it's only hurting them. And so
And
it sounds like a smart move.
I actually agree with you. I agree with you 100%, but I think that does not make you consistent.
Well, I just think so. Like, Long Live ASAP, I think is a great album.
Yeah,
At Long Last ASAP, I think is a great album. And then Testing, I think
it's
you want to
cool,
say cool, cool. So you got two greats and a cool. I'll take that all fucking day.
but that's two.
How hard
That's
it
two.
is.
That's two greats and a cool in 13 years.
Okay,
I think you
and
have to consider that.
that's fine. But then see, like, then we're going to, and then we're not talking about the mixtapes either, right?
Correct, but that's what pushes you about 15 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looking at Big Sean, the same amount of time, we got Detroit, great mixtape, classic mixtape,
Mm-hmm.
right? We got Dark Sky Paradise, great album.
Mm-hmm.
I decided I'm gonna call it good to great, good to great.
Okay.
You also have Hall of Fame as well. I'm gonna call it good. It's a good album. You don't agree?
No.
Hall of Fame. This one came out in 2013.
Mhm.
it was good to me. Okay,
Okay,
we could
that's fine.
disagree.
That's fine.
After that, it gets a little shaky.
Right.
100%. I think me and you could both agree it gets shaky
Mhm.
after that. After I decided is where it started to get a little funky. I think Double or Nothing was on the way. We all got excited. Came with Metro. We've seen what everybody else has done with Metro even since. Very underwhelming. But
Right.
yes, 100% shaky after that. So I think that we got. I mean, and hey, maybe that's part of the conversation is that we got 3 extra albums or 4 extra albums in ASAP Rocky, and we probably have one more good, and that's it.
Yeah, he's definitely got the one. Was he got Don't Be Dumb coming out?
Yes,
ASAP Rocky does. Yeah, that's the one coming out. I got high hopes for that one.
I would agree. I would agree.
I got high hopes for that one, and I want to know. I'm curious at what the sales look like. Does he get a cheat code because he's Rihanna's man?
100
Is that a
percent.
cheat code?
You think Rihanna's not gonna be on that album?
But like,
That's a cheat code.
do this might be a dumb. Do I lose my hip hop card for this? Do they have a song together?
Yes. No. No. You know
No,
they've been on music videos together. No, I think they do.
because
I'm about
that's
to look
kind of
this up.
crazy. That's a thought that goes through my mind constantly. Is like, how do you? How are you a power couple?
They
And
got
you're
one song together.
okay.
It's a song that nobody ever cared about. Rihanna Cockiness Remix.
Oh, the
Has
cockiness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no one knows about that. But that they probably weren't even together at that point, were they?
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't think so. So they don't even have a song since they've been together.
But is this not the perfect setup for it? Everybody craves Rihanna. If people see Rihanna on that album, his numbers jump at least 10 grand.
I was gonna say 20. I was gonna say 20.
That's let's say
Yeah.
15.
Yeah,
Call it easy 15.
let's be in the middle. We go 15.
Which is almost all of Big Sean's album sales.
Rihanna just makes up his whole total.
I 100% because you're gonna get people that rush to that. My wife, massive Rihanna fan.
Huge.
She has no idea
I've
ASAP
never,
Rocky is releasing an album at all.
no,
If she sees Rihanna on there, she's listening 100%.
dude. So let's talk about it. So we said I think we completely highballed the over under for Big Sean's album. We said 65 is the over under. He did 22.
And it's hard because in today's world, nobody's selling very well. So it
But
is a hard,
I was
gauge.
anticipating that. That's the issue.
Didn't we start at 100 and worked our way down to 65?
No, so I'm gonna be I'll have no problem talking about my crazy takes. I have no issue talking about where I was wrong. I said on a best case scenario, he does in the 90s, is what I said.
And I would, well, yeah,
Because
yeah,
Future did 10 something. Kanye, this version of Kanye did 10 something.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, Big Sean, I think he can, because I thought there would be some type of early nostalgia with Big Sean. Like Big Sean's coming out, people like me, people like you, who basically were outside during Big Sean's peak, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe people would then kind of at least check it out and to put some sales together. And I think, would you say six? You said you were like, I think you said, I'm not trying to misquote you, but I think you said you're thinking like 40 is what you said,
Yes.
and
Which
then
is still crazy.
22 is
And to me,
crazy.
let me be clear, Future's album did 251 first week.
Future's crazy, yeah.
But that's also with Like That on there. That I think
Yeah.
Like That bumped at least 50, but you're still
But
talking
Future
200.
always sells super
Yeah.
well, though.
His last album prior to that was 222.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like Future always goes crazy.
Yeah. That's what he does.
So let's talk about it. ASAP Rocky, his
Mhm.
album "Don't Be Dumb" coming out. What are you thinking? What's the over under there? I feel like we got to lower our expectations because we dropped the ball with Rihanna. So I think his realistically could be like 65.
I think he's gonna be 35.
You think he's gonna do 35?
Yeah. I think that not a lot of people are checking for ASAP Rocky. I think his singles have been well, but if not done super well performance wise, I think 35 would be a great number for Ace. I'm saying 35 in a good way. I think that'd be a great number for him right now.
Even with like, hey, Rihanna's on this project, you think he does 35?
I think Rihanna maybe get you to 40, maybe.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to do super big numbers. Especially and maybe I'm naturally scaling back after this Big
It
Sean thing,
kind of slaps you in the face.
but I think 35 is being optimistic.
Okay.
I could see him doing similar numbers to Big Sean, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I think I want to say I want to confidently say 40.
40.
Yeah.
I like 40.
Just because we haven't heard ASAP Rocky in a while. His music sounds good. And I think that you're also getting some fun music videos with him and the anticipation of Rihanna being on
That's
the album.
another thing. If you have you seen the Yes music video?
I have.
That's Ace. That's fucking ASAP Rocky. Like I feel
Yeah,
like I've seen that exact video before.
that felt like ASAP Rocky. I
The
agree.
going in the mouth with the grills and like I'm like
Mm-hmm.
that's Goldie. Like
Yeah,
that's old school
he
ASAP.
did this 10 years ago.
Yeah. Um no, I think if he does his press tour and I think if he says, "Hey, I'm not leaking it, but Rihanna is on this project multiple times." I think he could do 50.
I will say if she's on this multiple times and we know this ahead of time, my prediction changes.
Like if he's on the press tour, if he's in Hot 97, if he's on Sway, and if he's like,
Tell
hey,
me, tell me what
she's
you think is if his last single was a Rihanna feature. This changes drastically, right?
if it's a slap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think I'm just saying Rihanna. I'm not even gonna say it's a slap. I'm just saying Rihanna feature last single, which is what I would do.
That's such a good idea though.
No, that's what I would do.
You're because you like how you have to have some like alpha male ego pride to not go to your wife and be like, hey yo,
No, you just sitting in the house. You're not even making music
can
anymore.
you throw me like a bridge or something?
You can give me some old shit. I don't care.
Let me sample some of your unreleased. Like, give me 4 bars. Do
That's it.
background vocals. Like,
That's it. You can do ad libs. I don't care.
no, like I think that could change things, and I would use that to my advantage. Are they
I
married? I don't think they're married.
no, I don't think so. I
Okay, I
think
said
two
wife.
weeks
My bad.
2 weeks prior to this album coming out, I would drop a single with Rihanna. 100%.
Do we even have a release date? It says
No, it's
schedule. It says schedule for fall 2024.
correct. It got pushed back. I think in the middle of the Drake Kendrick beef, it right move. I'm gonna slide this back.
Damn. Yeah. Also, yeah, that's crazy.
And can we
But
talk the other album that came out Friday, Dochi?
talk about it.
Oh my God. All right. Let me preface this. This has taken over as my favorite album that came out this year.
Okay.
Alligator Bites Never Heal. This is one of the most versatile albums I've heard in a very long time. It's in a time where it's been a good year for hip hop. This is still one of the more refreshing albums I've heard this year.
Mm.
Just different styles. It feels a little Busta. It feels a little Missy Elliott. It feels um, a little Doja esque, kind of. But it's great album, great rapping. She's singing on the album. There's just a lot going on this album, but it's very cohesive, very well put. What is TDE putting in their water when they sign people? That's what I want to know.
Big Sean needs to take some lessons from TDE and
Has
how
Big
they
Sean thought about signing to TDE? Like, we gotta have some conversations.
no, not if he wants to be in the big three. Boy, sit down. But no, you took the words right out of my mouth, especially the Missy Elliott comparison, right? Because Missy Elliott could rap, but also could be melodic at times, and
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of like Lauren Hill could sing and rap, but this is a
Yeah,
little more higher energy than that.
correct. A
I've
little
been
bit more
seeing,
rapping than a typical Lauren Hill.
yeah, a little less neo soul, but
Correct.
I've seen people reacting to her music on social media and everything like that. She's built different. She's built different. And
Mm-hmm.
coming from a different angle that female hip hop kind of goes. Female hip hop's like extremely, I mean, the Meg the Stallion, the Lottos,
Yes,
like it's very sexualized, you know? She's coming at it
100%.
from a whole different angle.
And
Uh
I just can I announce one thing?
yeah.
Dochi, artist relatively unheard of, did half the sales of Big Sean. That's scary for Big Sean. I just want to throw that out there.
And she's done nothing but help her case because
It's a,
bigger publications have been saying her name now.
yes, 100%. It's a great album. Um, man, it's what's the one song? She's just telling a story with almost a little Kendrick esque.
Which
She's
makes
rapping
sense.
about what's going on with her life to an old alter ego that was brought up in a previous album. It's just a fun way of expressing yourself, and I think that's kind of a little bit what's missing in hip hop, and I love it. I love to hear things like that.
Yeah, and that's I mean we talk about it. It's the taking chances type thing. It's like
Absolutely.
let's do something a little weird. Stay within the compounds that we have built for ourselves, but let's stretch it. Let's get a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think she absolutely did that. She has the look, you know. She has that I
Mm-hmm.
don't give a fuck type look, and
I love to see the music video with Absol and J Rock rocking with her in the music video. That's just fun, you know. TDE just TDE does a record label, hip hop record label, better than anybody I've ever seen.
they got
Even
some.
if it's not at the highest scale, they do it better than anybody to me.
It's the talent that is on that label.
It's crazy.
The talent just alone is crazy. Is SZA still there, right?
Yes, Sis is still there.
You got so that's like your superstar, right?
Correct.
That's one,
Now
right?
that Kendrick's left, SZA moved to number one.
Yeah, and then
Schoolboy
Schoolboy,
Q, J
J
Rock.
Rock, and
Now
then
you have
they're
Doechii,
yeah, and there's smaller talent. Ray Vaughn is a beast. Isaiah
Isaiah Rashad.
Rashad is a beast.
Absol is just chilling on the bench.
Right, he's just
Like
doing weird shit at this point.
he still can rap better than most of your favorite rappers.
Yeah, like TDE is that they have that we'll take y'all take the top. They might have the top with SZA because when SZA drops, that's the world stops, right?
Correct.
But they said y'all can take the top. We'll take this middle ground right here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
And go
st-
crazy in this middle round.
and we'll operate. People
And the thing
find
is,
us.
Kendrick's not on TDE anymore, but it doesn't feel like Kendrick's not on TDE.
They're still doing their thing. I mean, you like it more because they're making music together
Yeah,
when Kendrick's there, but I wouldn't rule out Kendrick still working with them because they're still super close.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean,
We can roll in with the Kendrick news.
you want to get into it?
Ooh, Kendrick Lamar, Super Bowl 59,
How you
performing
how you
halftime
feel?
show. All right,
We kind of text debated this yesterday, and
I'm
we
gonna
shouldn't
give.
have done that. We shouldn't have done that. But
I'm gonna throw some random things at you.
okay,
Um, I don't know if I agree with Kendrick Lamar being a halftime show.
it seems I wasn't expecting it.
It's unexpected. We talked about before. We're huge Kendrick fans.
Yeah,
We love Kendrick. I don't know if it makes sense for the Super Bowl personally.
I think it's gonna be crazy though.
Is it? Keep in mind, and I hate when people preface with this. Um, Big Kendrick fan. I've been to a lot of rap concerts. It's like the sports fan. As a Texans fan,
Yeah, yeah,
I've been to a lot of concerts. Kendrick is a fantastic performer.
right.
I think that we talk about who we feel got snubbed on performance. I've seen that person, Lil Wayne, perform too. A lot too many drugs is not good for you kids.
Yeah,
Let me be clear. Kendrick is a fantastic performer. I do not want to see a lot of rappers headline Super Bowl performance, but if I had to make a selection, I would give you Drake, I would give you Kendrick, I would give you Kanye, and then it gets shaky after that. Not because of not because of the songs that you have and the catalog you have. It's just strictly performance. A
yeah,
lot of rappers got speaker, got a microphone, and that's all you get.
yeah.
That doesn't work for the Super Bowl, and I think that's kind of what people are missing. Kendrick's not going to give you that. Need if I say I don't know if he has the hits for the Super Bowl though.
That's crazy. I don't know if I agree with that.
So I thought you would give me that opinion. So I want to ask you, if we look at previous Super Bowl performances, we're getting about 10 to 12 songs. What does Kendrick perform in that 10 to 12? Because I think after about 6, it gets a little shaky. Because we're not talking about hip hop fans. I want to be clear. If you're a hip hop fan, Kendrick probably has like 30. We're not talking about hip hop fans. This is the generic fans that don't like rap. You're trying to please that whole crowd.
Yeah, well, I think if you're making that conversation, I think any rapper, probably outside of Drake, any rapper you could probably fit that
And
narrative
Kanye.
into.
It's Drake and Kanye.
Yeah, and Kanye would just is never going
Maybe
to do
Jay
the
Z.
Super Bowl.
No, because he's gonna talk. That's
No, well, definitely not Jay Z. If you're saying Kendrick doesn't have the hits, I don't think Jay Z has the hits
I
either.
think Jay Z has it 100%.
For the casual listener,
Yes,
you're
yes,
great. I don't know. I don't
yes.
know what since you're becoming a dad, I don't know what you're drinking in your tea. So for the casual fan, and we're talking about the Super Bowl, so we're talking about a young audience mixed in with the
Mhm.
older audience. You think Jay-Z can be on that stage, but Kendrick can't with his
And
songs?
I'm just talking catalog, not performance.
No, exactly. I'm
Kendrick's a
talking
far
catalog
better
too.
performer
I'm
than
talking
Jay-Z.
catalog too. Yeah.
All right, so give me your Kendrick set list. He might have not done this ahead of time, so I might look stupid at the end of this.
Okay.
But give me
Fair
your
enough.
Give me your Kendrick set list, and I would give you my Jay-Z set list.
Okay, should I go from like the hits and move on, or should I try
Just
to like
just give me like your 10 to 12. It doesn't need to be in order.
okay, Humble's being played.
Okay.
DNA's being played.
Okay.
Um Mad City is being played. Money Trees is being played. His
I think Money Trees get shaky, but okay.
No, Money Trees is being played.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying it
He's
gets shaky
doing
to the casual fan.
he's gonna do Pray for Me off of the Black Panther album, the
I
Black Panther soundtrack.
That's a mistake in my
That
opinion.
was that was a massive record. That was
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay.
So he's doing that. He's going now. Let me go. He's doing All Right. We gonna be all right.
Okay.
He's doing I Love Myself.
Keep in mind he performed all right in the Super Bowl already, but
Well,
continue.
he gonna do it again. What are you talking
No,
about? You can't
100.
just leave him off. Okay.
That's what I would do. I agree.
He's performing I Love Myself. That's gonna be that's gonna be that's a transition record. That's a transition record, especially for the message
we're at 7. Give me like 5 more.
I mess of it. Okay. So what did I say? So I'm going off of albums now. I'm going off of albums. So the Rihanna record.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, Love. I'm trying to go off of Damn. I got the Love record, the Loyalty record. So Love and Loyalty. So I'm adding that one. That's 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got 3 more.
Let's go. So off of To Pimp a Butterfly, I said All Right. I said and then okay, then let's go Good Kid, Mad City.
You're missing.
Because To Pimp a Butterfly is such a concept album, and the songs are so
a lot of them don't fit.
Yeah. Then he's going
drink. Come on, I'm helping you here.
Yeah, Swimming Pools. No, but I've missed him around Big Steppers. He's definitely playing in 95. That's being played 1,000%.
And so let me clarify with that. As a rap fan, love this set list.
Yeah.
A casual fan doesn't know half these songs already.
Okay, then let me hear your Jay-Z to the casual fan.
Okay, so I'm rolling out. Give me Frontin', starting off. Something casual. Okay,
half the people know that. Half of the people know that song.
Frontin'? Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. 99 Problems.
Okay, absolutely.
Dirt Off My Shoulder.
Absolutely.
That's 3. Give me Click.
Okay.
That's what, 4? I'm stupid. I can't count.
I got you. Just say songs, I'll count for you.
Give me Monster.
Okay.
Is that not?
No, I said okay. Okay,
no, I'm asking. Wholesome People in Paris.
for all my caucuses out there.
Yeah. With that, I'm also playing Otis.
Okay.
Empire State of Mind.
Of course, that should have been one. Yeah.
Where am I at?
You're at 8.
Run This Town.
Okay. Yep.
Now I bring out Beyonce. Crazy in Love.
Okay.
Drunk in Love. You see where it gets
we're gonna do a Rihanna. No, we're gonna do a Beyonce set.
You see where it gets spooky. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's different. There's different type of hits for somebody. And then I've even thrown in Big Pimpin'. You think that's not coming on?
For the old, yeah, for like us and our uncles, yeah.
But that's
not my uncles. My uncles don't know Jay-Z.
Because let me ask you this: can Kendrick perform Not Like Us?
I don't think he should be able to.
I don't think you can.
They might tell him like you got to leave this one off.
No, like that's what I'm saying. Like I love hip hop. The Super Bowl, like fam, trust me. I listened to the song again to be like, maybe they can censor. They can do. You can't.
You would have to be quiet for half the song.
Exactly. Like you can give me the hook. I could see that maybe the transition, but that's kind of That's kind of
it's gonna come on in some way, shape, or form.
Correct, but you can't perform that song.
No, you can't.
Euphoria, you can't really perform that song.
No, that's not. I'm not even entertaining that. No, that's not coming on.
Do you perform like that? Maybe.
Like that, yeah.
That's probably the only one you can perform at.
Maybe literally, maybe just the chorus. Maybe just They Not Like Us. Maybe that.
Maybe.
But like, you can't say Drake. I hear you like I'm young.
Yeah, you can't. That's crazy.
You cannot say that.
That's insane. However, so if we're just having that conversation, do you at least see a world where that Jay-Z catalog gets a little different versus a Kendrick? The fact that I can bring out Beyonce changes everything. I just want to be clear.
Of course, but
cheat code.
I think yes to your question, because Jay-Z, I just think it's the same but different, because Jay-Z, like
Long, it's longer career. I think that's what it all comes down
you
to.
play Crazy in Love, right? And I'm going crazy because I'm a hip hop fan, right? And I know that record, what that record did. And then like your 35 pluses are going crazy to that, but then you're losing the younger audience, right? The earlier guys.
We
And
can
then
make
I
the
think
argument.
I think Kendrick does the same thing but opposite. You get what I'm saying?
I think you make the argument. Usher. Usher did that. I think,
Oh,
and keep
nobody knew any of those Usher songs besides
100%.
us.
Okay, okay. I'm making sure that I'm not crazy when I say
Yeah,
that.
no, no,
I had a conversation with multiple people. They're like, "Why is Usher performing?" I'm like, "It's Usher. What do you mean?"
fam. No, and that's what we kind of texted about yesterday when you said and maybe you calmed down from this, maybe you chilled out from this. I don't want to call you
probably,
out.
probably not. If you bring it up, it's gonna rehash memories, and I'm gonna go crazy. But continue.
Because you said something alluding to that the only reason why Kendrick got this is because Not Like Us is so crazy.
I don't disagree with that.
Like,
And,
I love how you don't even agree with yourself all the way. You're like,
no,
man, I
no,
was
no,
kind of
no,
wilding yesterday.
no, 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 no. Hear me out. I think that Kendrick eventually could have a Super Bowl performance. I do think it's happening this year for that reason.
Um, yeah, of sure. But then my response to that was when Usher got the Super Bowl show, right? He
Mm-hmm.
had nothing to promote except like an album that dropped that week.
Yeah.
Rihanna had nothing to promote, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like you have to be on some type of run to get the Super Bowl
No,
halftime
no,
call.
I 100% agree. However, if I think Kendrick can be on my list of future people to do a Super Bowl, and then you have a year like this, all right, this is your year. And I don't
Yeah,
disagree with that decision. It's what
yeah,
you should do.
yeah.
But
I
I
think you get kind of crazy though, like when you say like, let's be clear, this is why he's. There's so much context that you can add through text, right? But
yes,
like when you say
I
that, it's like
well,
he
well
was already on that list.
let me simplify it. I think that's why it's happening this year
Yeah,
specifically. Is
right.
that better? Does that make more sense?
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
Now, and I tried to have this conversation. We're gonna look like Lil Wayne haters because we had this conversation about
Uh-oh.
does Lil Wayne have three classics? Does Lil Wayne have songs he can perform at the Super Bowl? 12 songs.
By the way, the internet with our video, I don't think you look at our videos. I'm gonna be honest with you. That video got about 7,000
Mm-hmm.
responses, and people ate you up for saying he don't have three classes.
I don't care.
Like
Well, it's
people said you forgot about Carter 1, the first Carter.
I don't think it's a classic. That's my opinion.
I think the older
I
gentlemen think so.
I think it's a cult classic. Let me clarify. That's a different ball game because it's a
Yeah, I
cult
think
class.
because in a minute clip, we're leaving out, like people were talking about like, what about the mixtapes? Like we weren't talking about mixtapes though. We were
That's not what. Yeah, correct.
like we that wasn't in the conversation.
If
Um,
let me be clear. If we're including mixtapes, Wayne has like seven classics. That's
Absolutely.
that's a different. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about commercial albums.
Studio albums.
Correct.
Yeah.
And let's. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably cutting ahead, but let's look at Carter One. Your biggest songs are "Go DJ,"
Mhm.
and it gets in. And we're like I said, this is not hip hop talk. This is classic talk, which includes everything.
Commercial success.
After that, it gets spooky.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Cult classic, yes. Actual classic, no, absolutely not. Sorry.
So explain. So for the people out there, explain the difference between a classic, like a classic album, and a cult classic.
So cult classic, I think that cult classic can be something that your fans deem as your best work. Think that you were at your highest peak. However, the consensus of the masses did not hear it. Don't know anything about it. Never heard it. I
Okay.
think a good example of that is Days Before Rodeo with Travis Scott that he just re-released was a cult classic.
Yeah.
Most of his fans have never heard that before
Okay.
because he got popped. He got his biggest peak was pause was much after that point.
I think we named the we named the podcast name. This episode's gonna be called Biggest Peak. Pause.
But it's that's what it all comes down to. Like for instance, Wiz Khalifa has what is it? I feel I'm gonna feel stupid for saying this. This mixtape he just re-released. Cushion Orange Juice, cult classic.
Christian Orange
Cult
Juice, yeah.
classic. The masses has not heard that project. Did not do well on Billboard. Has no songs that did well on Billboard. Obviously, it was a mixtape. I get that, but did not have anything that was able to perform at a high level on a commercial success. Is that everything? No, but it is something that gets included when we talk about a classic. A classic is something that's a consistency you can't disagree with. I think
It's everywhere. Yeah.
Carter 4 has more of an argument than Carter 1 does due to that reasoning. I
Yeah.
disagree. I disagree with that personally,
Hmm.
but I'm willing to have a conversation with Carter 4. Carter 1 is just not there. It's because I think we can say in hindsight, we can go back and listen to like, no, this is a classic. I get that. And I'm not, I don't know if I'm gonna argue with somebody on that, but it's not. It's a cult classic. Cult classic. I think Reasonable Doubt's a cult classic. Uh, it just wasn't at the time where it could be a classic like that. It's not a bad thing. It's not saying that it almost is not so much the quality of the music, but it's everything else included in that can make that a classic versus a cult classic.
Yeah. So like Days Before Rodeo, cult classic, Astro
Absolutely.
World,
Classic.
classic. It's
Exactly. There's
two
a
different
difference.
things.
I
It's like,
love both those projects, but there's a difference.
yeah. Well, I think it's important to explain, and I think your definitions I think are spot on. A cult classic is within that fan base, like you had to have been there type of thing. Like
Correct. You
you had
can't
to
tell
have
me.
been there before for Days Before Rodeo. For Chance the Rapper, you had to be there for Acid Rap. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And let me clarify. You can't. I'm not saying that you're 15. You can't call the Blueprint a classic. No, it was a classic in that moment. There was
Right.
massive records in that moment. It's all about how it did in that moment. If I go back 20 years and discover an album from an artist, that can be a cult classic. It just didn't really do anything, and that's fine. It's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
And when you look at just like a classic, it has numbers to support. Number of songs off that album that, you know, did was on Billboard. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is, but I don't think you have to include Billboard in that scenario. I think that we've seen albums do extremely well just in the hip hop community, but did nothing Billboard wise, and it could still be a classic. But I think that when you're the masses, I'm going to use that word. When the masses don't know much about this album, we can't call it a classic.
Yeah, I think if you call people out and they're like, "Oh, this album's a classic." Okay, give me your top 5 favorite songs. And they
Yeah.
can't name any.
What are we talking
It's
about?
like, okay, so you're just saying that cuz you think you have to.
Correct.
Yeah, like
Correct.
you don't actually mean that. But it's like if it's an actual classic, oh, I can go top to bottom. I can tell you
Mm-hmm.
which
Now
songs I like.
let's refocus. Give me your 12 Wayne songs that he performs in the Super Bowl.
Oh man.
I think it's tough, and I don't.
This
Once
is
again,
no, we don't prepare for this stuff either. You're just telling me this on the spot.
no, I because I thought about this. I didn't plan it out, but I thought about it, and
All right,
it's
let's
not. I have Lil Wayne higher than Kendrick on my all time rapper list. I want to be clear when I say that. This is a different conversation. It's not what we're talking about here. Super Bowl is a whole different ball game because not only is like I said, I've seen Lil Wayne perform. He's not a great performer. I just want to be clear. Uh,
especially as he gets older.
oh my god, it's like I said. I think the first thing I text you was like, has people not seen Wayne perform in recent years? He's not good. He's not. He forgets his lyrics a lot. He slurs over words. He sounds weird because he uses auto tune so much nowadays. It doesn't sound great. But let's take that aside. We're talking straight catalog. What does a 12-song Super Bowl look like for Lil Wayne?
All right, so let me go off the top of my head. Um, so the two obvious ones are a Millie
Mm-hmm.
and 6 foot, 7 foot.
Okay.
Okay, those are the two that I think are solidified. I don't think those are off by any means. I think you got to throw Go DJ in there just because of the
It's off a classic album.
yeah,
So.
it's off the best album of all time. So Go DJ. So I don't want to like try to go incredibly in order. So that Hustler music's coming on.
Mhm.
Um
I
so
think
off
that's already. I think that's already getting shaky. If I'm being honest with you.
but like so I'm not sure if I'm saying these performers need to play their best songs, right?
Yes, agreed. And
And that's what got them to this point to perform in the Super Bowl are these songs.
I
And
agree. Does Hustler music perform well at the Super Bowl?
I don't see why it doesn't.
It's a slow rap song that from a performer who does not perform well.
But
That's
there are times where like the Usher performance last year, they're slow songs, they're fast songs. You know what I'm saying? Like
uh,
there's transition records.
agreed, but that's where that performance comes in. That changes it.
You was just looking at Usher shirtless and you forgot all about the sequencing. You're just
Bro,
like that's where the performance
I
come
don't
in.
know what song that was. That Lil Yachty that he just performed. That was
Um
crazy.
No, but like, so I think the rest of the songs that I would name, I think you would probably say the same thing for all of them. Because Wayne
It gets
and
shaky. That's all
he
I'm saying.
plays Let It Rock with Kevin Rudolph. Remember that record? Let
I
it
would
rock, let it
I
rock.
Wayne will move down my all time rapper list if he does that at the
Yo,
Super
if he
Bowl.
plays Down with Jay Sean, baby, are you down, 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 down? Yo, if Jay Sean comes out, I'm flipping shit,
As
dude.
a hip hop fan, I might actually cry.
Like I'm saying.
But I think that, and I've watched Nicki Minaj go insane on Twitter as she usually does, um, calling Jay Z all type of inappropriate words that we're not going to cover on here.
Damn.
Now Nicki Minaj needs to get help. Let's start with that. I think that we have to be able to have these conversations. Nicki Minaj needs help.
We should have
She
known with all the voices that she was doing in her raps. We should have known something was up.
No, but you could do that and not be absolutely insane, and she has surpassed that level. Now it's she was even alluding to even Eminem, a white man, staying on 50 Cent. Kendrick's black. I don't know if she knows that. But I think that I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, they could have done a New Orleans dedication." This is not a hip hop show. I just want to be clear. This is not a hip hop show. That may sound negative. Hip hop is the biggest genre of music right now. I understand that. This is still not a hip hop show. So you have to be mindful of what this is. Kendrick is the first rapper to headline a Super Bowl ever. This is very uncommon territory. And maybe I'm wrong and it needs to change. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm telling you what it is. And if I'm trying to attract the masses, we thought Taylor Swift was going to perform. I do not want to go from that to seeing Juvenile perform on stage. I just want to be clear. Like there's levels to this, right? I've heard we've heard the Maul say that Drake's been asked to perform numerous times and have turned it down. That would be a great person to put up there. We talked about it. If you told me that we're gonna do a Young Money reunion, that changes my conversation 100%. Now, do I want to give Nicki Minaj a microphone in front of the biggest stage on the world? Maybe not. She's getting into my Kanye West bag. I don't want to see you with a microphone ever. But I think that conversation changes a little bit in that scenario. But I think that we broke down a list of they're like, oh, well, it's in New Orleans, so it should be dedicated to New Orleans. There's been three artists all time that have performed in the city that they are from in the Super Bowl. Three. And we're going, includes guest features going all the way back to 1993. And all three of those have been mainly in in LA when Dr. Dre did this whole thing.
Yeah.
So I get it. We saw that and thought, oh, we should do this going forward. It's not the case. It's not very common for that to happen. The weird part I find about all this is the Super Bowl was in New Orleans 10 years ago.
Who was there? Katy Perry? Who was the performance there?
Beyonce performed.
Oh shit! There you go.
Nobody cared. Nobody said anything. What's the difference? I guess is my
social media.
Maybe so.
More people know how to use their TikTok app and their Twitter app. That's what's different now. Everybody nowadays feels like, and here we are on a podcast, but everyone feels like they need to have some type of hardcore stance opinion. I'm gonna be honest. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I honestly just thought it was sewn in that Wayne was going to be as soon as I knew it was in New Orleans, and we kind of, since Jay-Z's been at the helm in whatever position he is in the NFL, I don't really know. But I think the consensus thinks he's sort of in some way, shape, or form, putting it lightly, has a big say in who performs.
Yeah, and I think we don't know. Possibly, maybe, I don't know.
I've never saw a concrete job description for Jay-Z's role.
I've read that Jay-Z provides a short list, and the city that's putting on the performance makes the final selection, which would be insane if that's the actual thing. Because if New Orleans this picked Kendrick, what I find it hard to believe that one single person makes this decision. I find that very, very, very hard.
It's rarely the case.
Exactly.
But of course, in social media, if they want him to be just one person making the decision, then it's gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they'll fit that narrative.
But it's, I'm excited to watch it. I'll be excited to sit down in front of the TV. Do I think it makes sense? Not entirely. But here we are. I also think I was looking at the list of like who performed, and I thought, man, it's kind of too early. The Weeknd has also performed. Katy Perry has headlined the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Once I read that, my whole entire opinion changed. I said, you know what?
Oh, don't
Maybe
no, no, you going
maybe
crazy.
ASAP Rocky should headline Super
No.
Bowl.
Katy Perry goes nuts.
She sure. But I think that we go back and there's obviously mainly been big artists, but um it's it can get different. And I'm not mad at it. So I'm not mad at Kendrick performance. I don't know if it's the best choice, but we'll see.
I think it makes sense because um I feel like you want to try your best to get the artist in their prime. And
100%.
that's
I
where I
agree.
think they sort of dropped the ball with Usher and Rihanna because she's more closer to her prime, but she's been far removed, right, from actively making music. Usher,
Correct.
I feel, was like 10 years too late.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
so
I think Usher got lucky
they
because
got Kendrick in his prime, I think.
yeah, I think Usher got a little bit of a curve because he did so well in his residency and it was in Vegas.
And he gets a pass because he could just dance, you know?
He's a great performer, so it changes things a little
Yeah.
bit. Just like a Beyonce, like I don't care what Beyonce's doing, I want to see Beyonce
No, you're
perform.
gonna go crazy.
But yes, but it's I do we think that a Kendrick album's coming at this point now?
It would be the most Kendrick thing ever if there wasn't, though.
I know
It
that's
would just be the best thing if he just did all this shit. Had Not Like Us blow up, be a crazy hit record, performs a Super Bowl for no reason, just because he felt like it.
yeah. And are we gonna talk about in the trailer? He said, you only got one opportunity to win a championship. The round twos.
That was a
Direct response.
that was a
Direct
shot.
response.
And
Yeah.
that's also where I feel like Kendrick is, and I don't want to go back to the Drake thing. I feel like we've talked that in circles, but Kendrick is like getting off these disses or like these shots in this public eye, like on
Yeah.
the biggest of platforms. Like he got on Amazon Prime and was like,
You a pedophile.
"You a pedophile. You're a PDF, right?" And then and if Not Like Us comes on during the Super Bowl, does this change anything on? I mean, I already Kendrick's my one, so he can't go any higher for me.
Yeah.
But Kendrick's resume is getting incredibly
This year he has
layered.
stacked so much things on his resume. It's kind of
The
insane.
first rapper to ever perform,
It's a huge deal. I know Dr. Dre performed in
but
previous
like
years,
Dr. Dre's like a producer,
and it was also Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent,
but this
Kendrick
is
Lamar,
just Kendrick, right? And Kendrick was a
which
part of that. So
yeah,
Kendrick could say he was the first rapper
and
then.
come now Kendrick Lamar has to bring somebody out. Nobody ever doesn't. Well, I
Bring
think
out Wayne for Mona Lisa, dog.
that would never happen. That would also be hilarious. But it's I'm excited to watch it. Like I said, Kendrick's a really fun performer. But that resume is looking crazy. I told you I think I had Kendrick ranked number 5 on my all-time rapper list. I think I did tell you that a great album this year could change that drastically. I think he could jump from 5 to 3. Uh,
So
only people I have in front of him is Wayne and Ye.
let's visualize this. Let's get a good idea. So right now we sit beginning of
September.
September, right? So let's go. Super Bowl 25 is in February. So
Mm-hmm.
we got September, October, November, December, January, and then on that 5th month is February, almost to the exact day, almost 5 months to the day because it's on February 9th. So we're almost exactly 5 months away. That is a splendid amount of time. So
For album
you could drop a couple singles, you can let a
mm-hmm.
couple singles run, and I think around start ramping up around December time
Yeah.
and
Are you dropping
dropping.
that album in January, maybe?
No, it's got to be the Friday before the Super Bowl, right?
I can see it.
It's so
3 days, but
if
3 days prior? Because if that are you performing any new songs on your
well, the
performance?
singles would have already been in rotation at that point,
That's
right?
fair.
Let me I'm getting out my trusty calendar here. So February 9th, right? So that would be February 7th would be the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you already had 2 or 3 singles already in rotation. You probably have two like legit just Kendrick only singles and one big feature. maybe like a
Beyonce.
maybe a Beyonce record, maybe a Rihanna record, maybe something. You have those three in rotation, and then Super Bowl Sunday, you got the most heat on you, and you perform. I like it. So I think
That
February
that
7th,
that'd be
Kendrick
insane.
album. That's only 5 months away.
That's it's gonna fly by quick.
Yeah, I have a 5 month old. Like I get it.
that
It just
was like
goes.
that was like yesterday.
Yeah, it just goes, man.
I don't. Oh man, it's I'm curious to see what this is gonna look like. I think this is exciting. It's fun. People are bad mouthing Jay-Z, which is crazy. I think Jay-Z had a line that basically just saying that I'm mature, so I could destroy you, but instead I'm tolerating you, and that's all this is. People are bad mouthing Jay Z because of how much power he has, and they're not doing what they want them to do, which is kind of a crazy concept. That's assuming Jay Z solely makes these decisions, which I don't think is the case.
Sign me up as one of those guys. I literally thought it was. I thought here were my options. I thought it was going to be a Wayne Super Bowl performance, and this was before obviously all this was announced. I thought it was gonna be Wayne, and then if not, I thought it was gonna be like a Drake Wayne. Like they'll say that they're co-headlining, but I don't know if they would actually be co-headlining. It'd probably be more Drake than it was Wayne. But I thought that would be the second choice, and if not, we're getting someone completely out of the hip hop sphere, and we'd get like some maybe a Taylor Swift. I don't know.
I thought they were ramping up for Taylor Swift because
Well, because ever like the internet's believing that Swift and Kelsey are like some type of media thing, if or some type, and if they were, they've done nothing with
yeah,
it.
no,
They've just
it,
she just shows up to the games. That's it.
but
Maybe
it's
they actually like each other.
there's people that actually a solid Swift crowd that are Kansas City fans just for Taylor Swift. I get it.
Absolutely.
Plus, Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in the world. Let's be clear. Let's take our hip
We
hop
saw that.
brains
We
off.
saw that. We saw that.
When we tried to pull up the
It was
numbers,
like
we said,
six
"Oh my
million first
god,
week or some shit.
Taylor Swift's the biggest artist in the world." It
Yeah.
just makes sense. Whether she wants to or not is irrelevant, but it makes sense. I thought Taylor Swift, without question. So Kendrick Lamar King kind of came out of left field. It's gonna be fun, but it came out of left field.
If you were some, I don't know if you were disappointed. I mean, it sounds like you weren't on the Wayne train, but like if I was gonna be like, oh, it's not Wayne, Kendrick is a definite like medicine to that hurt, you know? Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're not getting Wayne, but you're gonna get, to your point, one of those guys that was on that short list of
No, and let me be clear. I'm not. It's not that I don't want Wayne performing. I understand why Wayne should not be
you
performing.
just don't think it would be as aesthetically pleasing as
Yes,
a
I
Kendrick.
understand. As a rap fan, sign me up for any Wayne performance. I want to be clear.
Perfect.
However, once again, I don't want to see Taylor Swift perform a day in my life.
No,
However,
you get
I
it.
think that should be the number one option if you're picking a Super Bowl performer. You have to think outside your own brain, think outside of hip hop, and put yourself in the general public. And I don't know if Wayne makes sense at all in that scenario.
Yeah. I can't get out of my hip hop brain. That's just what I am. I'm like,
Gotta be able to step
yo,
outside.
let De La Soul be the be the halftime show. Speaking of Super Bowl, week one of football in
Let's
the books.
go.
In the books. I think out of my 7 fantasy teams, I went 5-2. You quick 0-3.
Solid. Starting the week off fully defeated. I
I
feel
think, but
great.
here's the thing, and I'm not trying to like call you out on the podcast.
I'm in mid-season form.
I think you're like you've worked so much, so you've always worked so much. One of the hardest working guys I know, and you've always been busy when it came to sports, but then you've gotten to the point where you've like bossed up in your career to where you can now you catch some games and you can you can
I've been yeah.
relax.
I said,
And
wait, that's how you play football?
I feel like you're new to the fantasy game a little bit.
I
And like
mean,
I'm trying to put you on, and I'm trying to like help, like you got to know how to work the waiver wire. Like
let
you
me be
got to.
clear. My first year I played fantasy football was in the championship.
Was it a
And
free league?
I feel like I was with you, your league. I was in the championship. I lost, but I was in there.
You was in that bitch.
So let me be clear. I started off on a high. Since then, it's gotten spooky. I'm not gonna lie to you. I picked Marvin Harrison Jr. He gave me a total of point
Point
0.9 points.
nine points.
My boy went
I
stupid.
think he's popping off this week, though.
I'm keeping him
I think he's
in.
going crazy this week.
And then I consulted my friend to see who I should put on the line, and I have an 8-team league
Yeah,
that I joined.
yeah.
So obviously I consulted my boy right across the screen from me. I said, "Hey yo, so here's what I'm looking at.
Oh, I get what I know where you're going now.
I got DJ Moore, right?
Yeah,
Obviously 8-man team league. You have a lot of talent on your
yeah,
squad. I got DJ Moore in my flex spot.
yeah,
I can swap DJ Moore out. I can hit him with Tank Dell,
yeah.
or I can swap Tank Dell out. Let's go Jalen Reed.
Okay, what did I text you though?
No, let me get my story out.
I'm gonna pull out receipts. I ain't
Okay,
I'm not playing this
hush
shit with
up,
you.
hush up. Let me finish. So we had this conversation. I said I'm kind of leaning towards DJ Moore, but I'm consoling you because I'm unsure. We all had the conversation that none of these guys we were sure about. Right? Is that fair? We were unsure about what their role would be, how it would
I
perform.
will quote myself and I will say I think
He's
they all
not.
produce similar. I thought they all would produce similar.
That did not happen.
Yeah.
Let's. So let me finish my story. Hear me out. So I roll with DJ Moore. DJ Moore is more your number one role out
Yep.
of the three.
Yep.
We didn't know how Caleb Williams would perform, so that scared me a little bit. I have Caleb Williams as a backup on my team, but I was like, let's see how it rolls. So I roll with it. I start watching, the games. Watch the Packers game.
Mm.
Brandon shoots me a text. It'd be hilarious if Jalen Reed scored 2 touchdowns. Jalen Reed immediately scores a touchdown, called back. Whoa. Deep breath. Jalen Reed
No way that happens again.
had the greatest game in the world after that. He scored twice more, gave me 30. He gave me more points than anybody on my entire team while he was on the bench.
Yeah.
He outscored Lamar Jackson. He outscored DJ Moore for every week, apparently.
Yep.
DJ Moore gave me a solid 4 points. I consoled my friend, the same one who's telling me, hey, you don't know what you're doing. And this is what I got.
Right.
I got clapped week 1, mid-season form. It's okay. I'm gonna keep getting clapped. Pause. But it's all good. Week 2, we're gonna turn this around. I do want to say Thursday night game. What a way to start football, right?
Dude, all the primetime games have been amazing.
Excellent. How do you feel about the new kickoff rule?
I like it. We're so if it's a touchback, you get it at the 30. So you're a couple of big plays away from being in field goal range. Or like you saw DJ Dallas just take that thing back to the end zone, run it back for a touchdown. You've seen a lot of because of the tight space, you're seeing a lot of backup running backs be kick returners. So
I like it.
It's a lot of they put, instead of just putting your fast, lengthy wide receiver back there, you're getting backup running backs. I saw Austin Eckler returning the kicks for Washington. But no, so to what you're saying, here's what he's leaving out. Okay. This is a text from me. I said Jaden Reed could be the sneaky pick to start, but who knows where he lands on the target shares behind a healthy Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. I said he could be the sneaky pick. But I did say,
and we also agreed we should roll with DJ Moore.
Yeah, and I said I'll say I think they all produce a similar point total, but I think DJ Moore would be the safest pick because he's the true number 1 on this list.
And see, if it stopped there, I'm cool.
But it's the 2 touchdown text.
When you follow up with, that'd be hilarious if this
was the game already going?
It was about to start. It was
so
about to start.
You could have swapped right there.
No. You're trying to bail yourself out, and I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm okay with being wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Do not put this bad energy in my phone right before the game starts. That's crazy.
Up. No, that's on me. That's on me.
But him scoring 2 touchdowns, nobody would expect it. And then it happens.
No, I was sitting next to Haley, and I was like, the dude, he just scored a second one, and I go, I scroll down. And I show her the message I sent you, and the game started at 7, and at 7:07, I texted you that hey, look what and she goes, you're an asshole. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's what I'm trying to say. The
No,
first,
that now that I think that is fucked up. Like if you would have done that to me, I'd have been mad.
yes, I was at home just like, all right. No, I was in the hospital.
Oh yeah, you were still in the yeah. It was
I'm in the
Thursday.
hospital going through it. Just had a baby. It's supposed to be exciting. I'm in the corner pissed.
No, but I think, and here's another thing with you, man. I don't know what it is, but you draft players that get hurt. I don't know what it is,
100
and then
percent.
already, um, you got you drafted Raheem Mostert from
Um,
Miami. He's
had
not
moved to the bench.
practicing, and then
Rome.
you picked Adunze. He's week to week.
Yep. Yep.
But
Lamar
I think
Jackson, questionable, but he's gonna play. We know he's gonna play.
no, yeah, they already said that he's good to go.
But we back outside. I don't care. Whatever. We too. We take the lumps. We roll with it. We're
That's
trying
all
to
it
get
is.
better.
But you got
Uh,
like you gotta play the waiver wire. Like if someone gets hurt, you gotta be looking up who's his backup, and you gotta pick them up off waivers. You gotta play the game like that. I feel
I'm
like you
not.
draft your team
I'm
and
not listening to you anymore.
and you gotta make trades. You gotta do shit like that. I think
I'm
you
about
just
to.
draft your team and you just chill.
Okay, let me be clear. Where are you at on this list? I'm about to make you the nastiest trade in the world. Um,
I'm the team that lost that got the most points out of all y'all.
Give me Saquon Barkley
Okay,
at best. At best, I got you, Jordan Addison.
let's do it.
What's up?
That
What's
sounds
up?
good. That sounds good.
Saquon Barkley went stupid.
No, yeah, no. So I was feeling really good about my so I had the last pick. We were a 12-team league. I had the last pick. So I picked 12 and then I go back for another one. I went double running back and I got Saquon and Derrick Henry. They both scored. Saquon obviously scoring multiple times. That was cool. Excuse me, but the issue with me was I picked Joe Burrow. I never pick pocket quarterbacks. I always pick a quarterback that can run. You already had drafted Lamar. So I went against my better judgment and I picked the pocket quarterback. And I think, what did Joe Burrow give me? He gave me 8 points from a quarterback when he was projected to do like 19. That hurt me.
I
That
just want to
hurt
be
me.
clear. I finished with 78 points for the week. I'm trash.
No, yeah.
I picked Marvin Harrison Jr. very early. It's one
No,
week.
it's not over. It's not over.
I can live with it, right? However, not a fun way to start fantasy. It's not a good
No,
feeling.
but we
I think
back at it.
I think I had the lowest total out of the entire league.
You did. You absolutely did.
I like how you clarified that for me. I appreciate that.
And I
Thank
had the
you.
most points out of everybody who lost.
Who
Like I
cares? I
said,
don't.
in my 12-team league, I beat 9 of all the teams, and I played the 3
Guess what, big dog?
exceptions.
You are 0-1 with me. Who cares? Right?
But
We
if we
move
were in
on.
a tiebreaker, I win the tiebreaker because I got more points.
Why are you bringing up the irrelevant stuff here? We're not in that
It's
tiebreaker.
incredibly relevant.
We are 0-1 right now.
Nah, we
So
both the
it don't
same.
matter.
Just know if we played, I would have stomped your shit.
That's okay. Because Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to give me about 30 points this week.
No, so I was gonna say
Put it on wax.
It's too early in the week to do your anytime touchdowns, your
Yeah.
anytime touchdown parlay. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is on there for me.
Oh no, I'm about to lose money betting this weekend. I just
No,
want to be clear.
I
We got
was.
UFC, we got
Oh my god.
NFL. I'm about to lose some bread. I go into betting assuming I'm about to lose my money because that's what's more likely to happen because of the way I am as a person. So
No.
let's get to it. I'm giving up at least $50 this weekend. I'm ready.
So I have to go back and listen to the. I should have clipped the parlays that I gave, or the bets that I gave for the last pod. I'll be sure to actually isolate them this time. But I gave 5, and I think majority of them hit. I know my Bengals pick didn't hit, but my Cardinals pick hit, and I got another juicy one right for this week. This
Hella
parlay,
pause. Let's go.
this parlay, $50 gives you $700.
Woo! Look, that's the $50 I'm about to lose. Let's go.
Here we go. All right. So I don't know what order this is in, but well, I guess tomorrow. So, or for the Thursday night game, I got Buffalo beating Miami outright
I like that. I
for the
like that.
Thursday night game. They're
I actually
sitting
bet on
at
that already.
they're sitting at plus 120. I'm taking them on the money line. Here's the thing. The Dolphins are a little banged up at running back. A-Chain's not practicing, Mostert's not practicing, and you're putting a lot of emphasis on Tua. And Tyreek Hill is a monster. I have him in one of my leagues. But I think Buffalo, even though they don't have a lot of talent around them on offense, Josh Allen is the running back, the quarterback, the receiver, the water boy, and it seems to work out in their favor. So I'm going to go with a hunch, and I'm taking Buffalo plus 120, adding that to the parlay. Next game, Tampa Bay in Detroit. Tampa Bay is
Ooh,
at
good.
+7 underdog.
Ooh, that's a you gotta take
I'm
that.
I'm buying half a point and I'm getting them at 7.5. And I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +7.5. So they just have to either lose within 7 or win the game against Detroit. Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield look like they're firing on all cylinders. So I'm taking Tampa Bay +7.5 over Detroit or against Detroit. Colts versus Packers. Right now, Colts are only 3-point favorites, and Jordan Love is not going to be playing, which means he's doubtful, but I guarantee you he doesn't play.
Yeah, he
And
strained
then,
his MCL. That's
so
crazy.
you got Malik Willis at quarterback for the Packers, and the Colts played a really good Houston team and almost won.
Yeah,
That was a really close game. And they're only 3-point favorites over Green Bay right now. Give me the Colts -3 all day long. And then my last one, Rams and Cardinals. I'm taking Rams outright to win at +105. All those together, if you parlay them, 50 wins you $708. That's at +1,500.
see, I'm putting that in, and when I lose, I'm gonna come see you.
Honestly, and I hate when I do parlays and like the early game is the one that I'm not cool
Yeah,
with.
it ruins the whole day. No,
Yeah.
yeah, because the early one is the questionable one.
Yeah, like Buffalo in Miami, that's the one I'm iffy about. So I'll tell you this, I'll tell all the listeners, or if I clip this, whatever, obviously your odds go down, but if you wanted to take Buffalo out of it and just take Tampa Bay, Colts, Rams, I still think that's a good parlay.
Yeah,
But so Buffalo outright on the money line, Tampa Bay +7.5, Colts -3, and then Rams outright. Those are the ones I like. But if Buffalo wins, add that to the parlay. 50 gives you $708.
I like it.
That's what I'm going. And then in another name in football that's been quite controversial lately is Deshaun Watson. Can we talk about Deshaun Watson?
Nasty boy. Let's go.
He might be I don't know how to really explain it. He's not good at playing football, right? Like I know we've been saying, "Oh, well, he's new to Cleveland. He's been hurt. Took a year off." Where are we at with that? Because here's the thing. I went and compared all of Deshaun Watson's his 3 years so far with Cleveland, and I took Daniel Jones' last 3 years
Ooh,
in New York, and 10 more games played. So I'm not going to go off of totals, but I'm gonna go off the numbers that go off of your performance alone. Um, Daniel Jones has more yards per attempt. Daniel Jones has more yards per game. Daniel Jones has a better completion percentage. Daniel Jones has a better quarterback rating. Daniel Jones has better yards per attempt and basically beats him in every single category that there is. Um, what do we do? Like? I feel like it's a conversation, but I feel like no one's really talking about how Deshaun Watson is pulling off one of the biggest heist jobs I think we've
oh,
ever seen in our life.
I think the funniest part about all this. So we got a 5 year, $230 million contract.
100%
Uh,
guaranteed. All of it's
yes,
guaranteed.
100%. The fun part about this is the Browns put morals aside to make one of the worst contracts ever created. Um, I mean, what can you say? You know, sometimes if you stop getting massages, these are the things that happen.
He and I hate to I'm never one of these guys. I think it's corny when people take the angle, oh, this guy's just doing it for the money. But I feel like he's just out there, like, I gotta be here. So I'm gonna just run around and
Yeah.
throw the ball a little bit. But I feel like we're a couple of games away from him getting some type of elbow injury, shoulder injury,
I'm
and then
out,
it's Jameis Winston time in Cleveland, which
which
I think is probably the
might have
better
more success.
option.
Yes, at this point,
No,
hey,
there's no probably. That's the better option, right?
at least he can give you motivational speeches if he can't do anything else.
At least he wants to be there, you
He
know?
wants to win. Deshaun Watson, uh, I was, of course, in the streets on Twitter, or X as you would say.
Yeah.
Uh, best way to put it, they're like, man, I gotta watch a different show to see how terrible my team's doing. I want to get away from this. Deshaun Watson pops up on a realtor show for this individual who's trying to avoid the Browns buying a home in LA. Deshaun Watson is ready to stop playing football. I think that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. After what he's been through and getting a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, if he's just like, you know what?
I'm gonna get this bag. But last pod we had a conversation about the top bag getters. He might have top of the list.
No, there's no debate. And I saw someone say, even outside of sports, this might be the worst contract ever. Like, I don't of just any type of contract that you could think of.
Yeah,
He's
this is bad.
making so much money and
This is
he
bad.
can't play the quarterback position. So I'm gonna run off. So this is his last every game he's played in Cleveland. I'm just gonna run this off. I'm not gonna compare it to anybody. So he's played 13 games. Okay.
Which is crazy as is.
He's under 60% completion at 59%. He's averaging only 183 and a half yards per game throwing the ball. Okay. He has 15 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, with a quarterback rating of 78.1. And he has 2 rushing touchdowns. On top of that, just his 13 games, he's only put up 183 fantasy points. Like in
So
13 games.
let me be clear. Y'all can pay me $230,000. Hey,
I'll go make something happen.
I'll make it work. You know what I'm saying? I can get some motivational speeches. I'll get hit and get back up. I ain't gonna never be hurt. I don't even need massages like that. I'm cool. I just
This is
I don't
going to
understand.
be a documentary one day.
100%. Because
20 years down the road,
when we see at some point Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were like this.
Deshaun Watson, his last year in Houston, the Texans didn't perform well as a team, but I think it was like 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He looked like the best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. There will be a documentary on Netflix, ESPN 30 for 30. This guy's fall off. And the controversy, I'm not even talking. You didn't hear me mention anything about the personal stuff and the legal stuff. You didn't hear me
Oh,
say a word. I'm just talking about
I'll,
him on the field.
I'll talk about it all day. It's and can you call it a fall off when you're leaving with 230 M's? That's the important question.
I'm just talking about on the field. The fall off on the field has been crazy. How you with one team looked like you looked like you were worth that money.
Yeah.
And then now the biggest fleece job. And then you see the guy who he replaced, Baker Mayfield, looks as legit as you can look. He won a playoff game
Yeah.
last year. And now, I mean, I know he played Washington week 1, but 4 touchdowns, only threw like 6 incompletions. Like, oh my God.
It's been a great turn. It's been literally like the complete opposite on both sides. A great turnaround for Baker, a horrible turnaround for Deshaun.
Maybe I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Deshaun, but maybe it's Cleveland. But then you saw Joe Flacco was throwing that thing around last year.
Like, what? Why did they let Joe Flacco go? I don't understand.
Because they have Deshaun Watson. The idea is that, he's going to be healthy next year. And it's like, no, he's going to be hurt again this year.
100%. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt last game.
I mean, I saw him lay on the ground for a little extra seconds when I watched that game. And I got NFL Sunday ticket now, by the way. This is an ad.
Rich.
No, I canceled my TV. I canceled my TV.
Nah, it's big money over here talking. Hush up, big bank talking. My boy's paying $7,000 a month for NFL ticket.
It's a flat fee of like 400 and something.
That's insane. I just want to be clear.
But I save $900 in the long run because I'm
That's
canceling my TV.
that's awesome. Why? And this may be a separate conversation that we don't want to get into. Why is watching sports so difficult nowadays?
It's the hardest thing in the world. Because like,
I
what
have
is
to
it?
have Peacock.
Yeah,
The
30.
Texans play on Netflix. What? I think
Wait,
there's a.
what? Are you serious? Are you joking?
I'm 1,000%. I will give you the exact date because
Texans play on Netflix?
I was going through who's playing, kind of what to expect, just because I was kind of game planning like what games to watch. I work
Yeah,
Sundays
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sometimes, so I'm just game planning about what I want to watch, what I can watch, and things of that nature. On Wednesday, on Christmas, the Ravens play the Texans on Netflix.
Oh shit,
So
that's
with
gonna be
that being
fun.
said, I think the Browns are playing on Tubi, uh, but I don't understand
Oh,
what's going on.
this chair's missing a wheel, so I almost ate shit.
I don't understand what's going on. So I'm a Houston fan here, right?
Yeah,
If I'm a Houston fan, I have to have Netflix, Peacock, CBS, just normal cable,
yeah.
ESPN, Prime Video. Um, that's it. Oh,
And
five.
no, and you're screwed if you live actually where your team plays. I have a
Correct.
cheat code because I'm out of state and I'm a Texans fan, so I get to get Sunday ticket and I get to watch all the Houston games. I
And
can get
nothing's
League
blocked.
Pass and watch all the Rockets games, right? But if you're in Houston and you want to watch the games without getting like actual cable TV, you can't unless you're
Yeah.
streaming illegally. Like you can't. So yeah, no,
That's where we're at. It seems like it's getting worse.
no, it's crazy. Any games on the tap this week that you're just in a hurry to see? I think there's some, especially
Uh,
after what we saw week
Thursday
one.
night's game sounds exciting.
That game's going to be crazy. I'm super excited about that. I think another good one that's going to be interesting: New Orleans versus Dallas,
I was about to say, I like that game.
because New Orleans, they were playing Carolina. But one of the thing that was interesting about Carolina, we knew the offense was going to be suspect, but Carolina is supposed to have a good defense, and New Orleans and your boy Shaheed that you have on your fantasy team,
Mm-hmm.
every team has this little like Tyreek Hill hybrid player. Like the Chiefs have Xavier Worthy, Texans have Tank Dell, and
Tank Gale, that's
Tank
dope.
Dell. There you go. Tank Dell. And you're seeing these little like super little quick guys that play slot, and they're just throwing them the ball downfield. Your boy with the Saints, Shaheed, he's on there. Is I think there's obviously an opportunity for the Saints to lose this game by 30, because that's how the Saints are. They look amazing one week and then they're just the worst thing ever. And then Dallas had a good game, but now how the Saints show up is super important here. I'm tuning into that game. 49ers and Vikings. Interesting. Vikings looked really good. They played the Giants, but now they're playing the 49ers. 49ers, they know
No,
Christian McCaffrey, but
that
then that other
doesn't
running back,
matter.
who cares? You can put
Jordan, you said Jordan Mason. What? Where did you come from to have 147 yards?
you want to talk about a dude that's on my bench, because why would you start him? You know,
Never. Well, yeah, I mean,
I didn't know,
backup
they didn't
plan.
announce that Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to play until that day.
And did you see the fun thing that came out? They asked Jordan Mason on the field, "When did you find out you're going to be starting?" He
He said
said Friday.
Friday,
Yeah,
and they've
and
been like lying to the media.
yes, which is against the
he
rules.
got he got his team in trouble.
Yeah, Shanahan was like, "No, I didn't say that. That was a lie." He clearly got in trouble for that, which it's I sucks for him because he was just excited in the moment. He just had the best game of his career. They
Yeah,
said he had more carries that game as a first. That was the most carry he had had since high school.
since high school. Yeah,
Forget college, forget pros, high school.
yeah,
I was excited for him, and it sucks that it kind of ended on a low note like that.
yeah. I watched that game, and the 49ers, man, they kill the time of possession. Like they
Yeah,
just have the ball for forever, because they just like, it's 3rd and 7. They're gonna give you a 10-yard pass to get first down, and then they're gonna run the ball for 4 yards. Then they're gonna run it for 5 yards, and then it's 3rd and 1, and they're gonna fullback dive and get the first down. They just have the ball for forever. And I'm sitting here watching, and I'm watching it in passing, kind of doing other stuff, and I'm like, has the Jets even touched the ball? Like, that's a team
Aaron,
that's going to
Rod-
be crazy.
Aaron Rodgers is so old. Um, he look
At least he got through a game. He was throwing. He still has the zip on the ball. It's just
he,
his mobility that doesn't look the best.
which is the problem, and I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the
No,
issue
and
for them.
that's another thing I can go off on for a long time. And I get it because Aaron Rodgers was like anti-vaccine, that he has this like fan base of like young kids that think, that he has like this like off-field fan base, right?
Yeah,
And these people that think Aaron, like a lot of people had the Jets a dark horse Super Bowl team. A lot of people had the Jets as like, a team that's gonna make a lot of noise. I don't care how good, like Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. That's the truth. But he's 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury, and at that point, you can't just ride off. When he was in his last year in Green Bay, right? And I'm not saying the Jets aren't talented offensively. His last year in Green Bay, he didn't have a ton of talent, and it showed, and they didn't make the playoffs and all that stuff. I think it's tough because you have Garrett Wilson, who's a fantastic receiver. Brees Hall is a fantastic running back. Outside of that, those are kind of the two guys. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the ability today that I think pole vaults them. Like, I think best case scenario, they win 9 games and squeak in a playoff spot.
and losing the wild card.
But like, I don't, this whole, everybody was so crazy on the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. I don't see it, but hey, maybe I'm pessimistic. But
No, I agree. I think best case scenario, if I'm the Jets, I think it'd be optimistic to try to see if you can find your future quarterback now.
no, yeah, I mean that's they definitely.
Your backup's a 35-year-old Tyrod Taylor.
Shout out
Um,
Tyrod Taylor. What a
no,
legend.
I like Tyrod
A
Taylor, but
bag getter.
with the young crowd that you have, you need to be drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, and then you can't, because then you're gonna piss Aaron Rodgers off.
I don't
And
care. He's gonna
he's
go off to a forest somewhere and dissipate. I don't care.
but some other games, and some other games that are fun to watch. I think Tampa Bay Detroit's gonna be a really good game. Rams and Cardinals is interesting. Bengals and Chiefs. Can the Bengals rebound after losing to the Patriots?
No.
Wow.
The
Wow.
Bengals have had such a weird like up and down
They're always really
over the
bad to start the
years.
year. Like, they're
Yes.
always questionable to start the year, then they turn it up. I need Joe Burrow to do something because he's my fantasy quarterback. And then Sunday Night Football, Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud.
Caleb Williams did not look as advertised game one,
I
to
think
say the least.
I watched that game, and
I
I,
okay.
I I saw like Keenan Allen dropped a touchdown pass, which I think there were some impressive throws that I think were a little too much mustard on them for the receivers. I'm curious to see how they bounce back. Like, I got DJ Moore in my fantasy. You got DJ Moore in your fantasy.
Obviously, I have DJ Moore.
I think DJ Moore has a big week this week. Um, and again, I'm not trying to put any bad energy on the Texans, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs prime time, because that was just a normal noon game before prime time.
Shay,
No,
look with the lights on,
no, Adunze is out, so it's Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
which is
Let's
not
see what
bad, man.
happens. And the Texans, good Lord, you want to talk about Houston? CJ Stroud looks great. Stephon Diggs looks great. Joe Mixon, goodness gracious,
Solid.
140 yards, touchdown. Turning the
Nico
clock back.
Collins, man.
That's a big boy. That's
Who
your
you
boy.
throw?
That's your fantasy right there.
You got him right.
That's your
It's only
fantasy. That's crazy.
you just all
That
right.
big boy is your fantasy. Is
All right.
wild.
Yeah, I don't know what you want right now. That's crazy.
And then Monday night, Atlanta and
less
the Eagles.
less exciting.
Which,
Atlanta.
before you saw Atlanta play, sounded like a really fun game. Now that you saw Atlanta play, you're
it's
like,
oh, this
Eagles
is
might
Atlanta.
wash. Eagles might wash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. Let's hope for some. I gave you my parlay, so let's hope for some good luck there.
Oh,
And
I'm about
then-
to waste some money on that shit. I'm
And
ready.
everybody get on the waiver wire, because so I don't know if you know this. I'm gonna teach you about fantasy. I don't know if you know this, but like,
You don't need to teach me. Yeah, Wednesday morning.
so Wednesday morning it hits. So Tuesday you gotta have your moves already ready.
I
I
do this.
already got like 4 moves pending in our league.
Don't worry about me.
I'm ready to go.
I do this.
We're bouncing back. I have a lot of, especially with looking at your lineup, how it is. I like your lineup this week.
I was just trashed the first week. That's okay. That's gonna happen.
No, you take your lumps because you don't know who's gonna do what. But now that you've seen the workload in the touch balance, you're like, okay, now I know who's gonna go off.
I'm just letting you know if Marvin Harrison gives me less than a point, like, I'm quitting.
I'll trade you for him if he gets you less than a point. Nah, he scored a tutty. I'm telling you,
What?
a tutty. You know,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
a titty. That's too close to titty.
Yeah, no, I got distracted. Sorry.
Any basketball news? Nothing.
Nothing.
Just getting ready next week. I mean next month. Just getting ready.
Next month, it's coming.
Damn.
Pause.
This pod's gonna be about 4 hours long, but all right, well, we'll end it here. It's been fun. Any words of wisdom?
You know what? I'm gonna get off Rudy Gobert until next month.
Okay.
So right now,
Naming all the guys that didn't score in your fantasy. It's fuck Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, facts. I mean, I was gonna do that, but I'm not going to. Right now, we're just gonna say fuck Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Although I feel like my team made the greatest trade of all time at the perfect moment.
Oh my God. Texans look so good right now.
I love not being an idiot. It's a good feeling. However, I do want to say that I absolutely hate Jalen Reed for having the most amazing game ever on my bench. I'm not going to say fuck him because we're going to run it back this week, which I'm going to put him in, and he's going to score 1 point. And I know that's
right. So
you're
happen. Starting him. You're starting him this week.
I'm putting him in, and I'm gonna regret it. I know I'm gonna regret it, but I'm ready to accept that. I think that he's gonna be an obvious target for Malik Willis, who can't throw the ball to save his life. We saw him come in at the end of the game to try to throw a Hail Mary and get sacked.
Don't judge your boy off that one play.
And get sacked. The one thing you can't do on this play, you can throw an interception and we're cool. There's no problem with that. And get sacked, which he had time to throw the ball. I just want to be clear. It was a very Malik Willis type of thing to do.
So now you see why they're playing the Colts. Colts only -3.
No, I'm about to go bet that right now.
Come on.
That's getting betted today.
They might win by 20. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Let's get it.
All right. Well, we'll cut it here. This is the Bench Player Podcast, and we out.
Yes, sir.